All right, so your boy's pumped up, obviously. Game 4, W. I mean, we're going back to the Bronx. Winner take all, winner go home. And this is what you want as a baseball fan. This is why you invest all your time. And what I mean by all your time, I mean you're sitting down at 7 o'clock at night 140, 150 times a year to watch this team. You're investing money. You're going to games. You're buying shirts maybe. I don't fucking know. And more importantly, you're investing emotionally, right? Some days you get home from work and you're pissed, and then Aaron Hicks pops up with a runner in scoring position to lose the game. You can't sleep that night. Not really because you lost a 1 out of 162 games, but because it's kind of telling of what just went on that day. And the Yankees or whatever team you're a fan of is the representation of that, right? So it's like an echo chamber. And then vice versa, maybe you did have a bad day, and now boom, Aaron Judge hits a walk-off bomb to win a game. Now your night's a little bit better. You go, okay, you know what? Tonight wasn't so bad, right? And when that goes on for so long and this roller coaster of a season continues to go up and go down, that's what makes baseball special. And now all of that, what I just said, this entire rocket ship, this entire freaking roller coaster is now coming down to 4 hours tomorrow. Winner go home. So it's awesome. Baseball is very unique in that aspect. The second highest sport is 82 games for the NBA, which again is basically double for baseball. So it's unique, and there's no clock. Francesa was just saying this. There's no clock, so there's no running, kind of running the clock out or holding the ball. It's you get 27 outs. You got to fit that puzzle into that puzzle, fit that puzzle piece into that puzzle, and figure out a way. There's no excuses. You get 27 outs. Now, the series itself has been really annoying me. I mean, it's just a very frustrating, very just really brutal series from the broadcast. I am fully done with Bob Costas. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt to begin with. He started growing on me in a negative way where I was getting annoyed by him. Now it's full blown. I fucking can't stand him. I mean, every pitch, it's a new story. He's talking through pitches. No one in the world wants to hear these stories, these history lessons, besides himself, right? Ron Darling probably wants to shoot himself. I don't even like Darling. I think he basically, and I saw this on Twitter, but it's true, he basically was implying that Rizzo should get cleated next time Cole goes to try to pick off Jimenez. I mean, in what world are you doing that, bro? You're supposed to be an unbiased, nationally televised, color commentator. So the broadcast has been horrible. The umpiring has been horrible. I mean, every single guy who's been behind the plate has had a horrible strike zone. It's just been all over the place. There's no consistency. I don't care if you're calling like a low strike the whole game, but then call just a low strike the whole game. But you're inconsistent. It's just everyone hates it. The players hate it. Obviously, the viewers hate it. And then lastly, the players on the Guardians is really. I mean, it's really brutal. I know I'm saying really a lot, but because it is. Like I said, Kwan. I said this in a podcast before, the pregame. Kwan is impossible to get out. It is so frustrating watching this guy play. Every time you look up, after maybe you took your eye off the ball for a second, he's on base. Walking, little chippy base hits, bloops, stealing bases. The guy is just, I can't even, it's crazy. The rest of the lineup doesn't bother me too much, besides, what is Josh Naylor doing? Who does he think he is? I'm confused. I'm getting tired of his fat, sloppy ass running to first base with his helmet flying off every time he grounds out to second base. He hits a home run that continues to leave his team down. Okay, great. You hit a fucking solo shot down 2, bro. Sick. Acted like he just cured cancer running the bases, trying to dog Gerrit Cole, acting like he just hit walk-off home run in the Game 7 of the World Series at home. I mean, I don't know where that came from, and I was in the moment pissed Cole didn't throw at him in the next at-bat, but you know what? What he said in the postgame was amazing. Like, okay, turn the page. Who gives a fuck, dude? You suck. Like, I don't really care. I thought it was funny, right? Cole big dicked him huge, and he's gonna have the last laugh if they win tomorrow. If the Guardians win tomorrow, so it's still up in the air. It's still dicey. But let me grab my notes quick because I had a couple things I wanted to talk about. We'll start from the beginning of the game. Rizzo's base hit to take the lead off the bat was tremendous. Now, was he a bonehead getting caught on the bases? Yeah, and it actually killed a lot of momentum. I think they could have really had a big inning. That was horrible, but you can't kill him. He's had a good series, and yeah, he got the hit to take the lead off the rip, so you can't hate on that. And I just think that Gerrit Cole really showed what he was all about today again. I mean, 2 great starts this series. Really bared down, besides, like I said, the Naylor home run, and then the bloop where I said it before the game. what are you doing putting in Hicks? I don't understand it. I don't care what any type of analytics tells me. IKF has unfortunately been the punching bag of this team for the entire fan base. I feel like I'm not watching the same team as the rest of these fans are. Again, he's not a great fielder. First of all, he's hitting like 300 this series. He's done not a bad job whatsoever in the field. He's been shaky at times. Yeah, it hasn't cost him anything. And for him to just be this consistent punching bag is really, it's almost depressing, right? You take him out of the game, you bench him today, you put Cabrera at short, fine, but you put Hicks in left. If you're going to do that, then at least put Carpenter in left. You're just downgrading now. And it also is a bonehead move, in my opinion, how they didn't put Peraza on the roster. If you wanted to really do this, then put Peraza on the roster and put him at short. It doesn't make any sense to me. So IKF I feel bad for, but they squeaked out the win, so obviously it doesn't matter. Bader, we know it. He's different. The fucking guy's wearing a different AP with a sports band after the postgame. Fucking stud, built for New York, built for the bright lights, hits another electric laser beam to left field. So there's nothing to not only complain about, but that trade was amazing. It's documented. I am in love with him since the day he got traded in terms of him over Montgomery. I've always didn't like Montgomery. I thought he would just pitch to how the team played. If it was a lot of runs being scored, he would not be great. If it was a close game, he'd keep the Yankees in it. It's not a bad trait to have, right? That means you're kind of a winner, but not a primetime pitcher. Was never getting a big start in these playoffs. And it's kind of ironic that probably the game he'd be pitching would be tomorrow, and now Taillon's pitching. So it is what it is. We already covered the Naylor stuff. We covered Hicks being a complete fucking bonehead. That play in left field, show some aggression, dude. You were a good, borderline great defensive center fielder for a lot of your career. How are you letting the third baseman be kind of unaware and kind of indecisive and not take charge in that ball? You call him off and you make that catch. He was jogging, lollygagging like he's done the whole fucking year with his head up his ass. I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of seeing his shit at bats. And it's a ridiculous concept to me that they would bench IKF, but then put in Hicks at left. At least put in Carpenter, or maybe or even Marwin Gonzalez. Anyone but Hicks. So that really annoyed me. Big moment that I'm thinking of right now that could have really put the game away early was when the Yanks had second and third, no out. Stanton hits that sac fly, and then the rest of the team makes out, and they only get one run of that. That could have been a huge game-opening inning, and they didn't let it happen. This team goes down 1-2-3 way too often, and all these glaring issues are an issue, clearly. But we're gonna have to ignore it all because tomorrow is the game we gotta win. So none of that can matter. They come through tomorrow. It doesn't matter. You move on to Houston. So yeah, I'm complaining a lot because it's a lot of frustrating issues that are going on with this team. But at the end of the day, tomorrow, backs are up against the wall. It doesn't make a difference, right? What else did I have to say? I mean, really, tomorrow's game, I would have much rather have seen Nestor on short rest as an opener rather than Taillon with Nestor kind of available. Just because Taillon's a slow starter, we all know that. So I would hate nothing more to see him give up a couple runs early, and then the game is put in kind of the you're kind of in the disadvantage from the start. But it is what it is. I'm going to trust. I don't even know why I trust Boone, but I'm going to trust his decision with Taillon. He did pitch a big game. When he pitched a huge game for us. Yeah, last year to get into the wild card, basically, and it wasn't the longest start. I'm trying to think of, I just vaguely remember it, but yeah, no, he's not a bad guy to start. I also think Herman should be very very available, and the bullpen, although overworked, this is what you do it for. This right, so I don't care that Wandy threw 3 straight games. I don't care that Loizaga just threw. I don't care through yesterday. I don't care that even Clay Holmes threw today. Everyone should be available besides Cole, and it's gonna be a very anxiety-filled game. I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat all game, and that's really there's nothing much to it. I mean, this is literally, as I said, this is why you're a baseball fan, and this is why you're a fan of sports. No Love Island, no fucking movie, no Marvel movie, no fucking House of the Dragon. None of this bullshit can even come close to comparing to live action, high drama. Lives and games and seasons are at stake, jobs are at stake, games like this, right? You have a tremendously big fan base, a worldwide fan base in the biggest city in the world, pretty much, in New York, compared to the Cleveland Guardians, who no one knew more than 3 players in their entire roster before this year, right? So a little bit of that David and Goliath kind of little dynamic here, and very easily they can win. They're a scrappy team. I'm still extremely nervous. I was way cockier going into this series, as I should have been. The Yankees have severely underplayed. They've kind of choked a little bit in big moments, as they've done for the last fucking 10 years, pretty much. So I don't blame myself for thinking they should be able to beat this team handily. But listen, you go with what you're dealt, and you're dealt with a game 5, one game. You go literally single pitch by single pitch, out by out. You figure out a way to get 27 outs, and you score more than that team, and now you move on to Houston. So I'm fucking amped up. The last thing I'll say in a negative aspect, because it's funny to me, I am sick and tired also of Michael K, dude. You're, first of all, not funny. Craigie and Evan are smoking you in the ratings, right? I don't understand. This guy's got the most, like, for a big dude who has such a great, like, resume, right? He's the play-by-play regular season call for the Yankees. He has a primetime ESPN primetime radio show with his name on it, okay? Does so much other shit. He was doing fucking K-Cast this season for ESPN. Guy works so much. He sucks at everything he does. He's not funny. He's a bad play caller. I respect his grind, and I respect where he's gotten to and his success and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. But, like, he tweeted in the middle of the game. He has this weird thing that he, like, thinks that he's right about Gerrit Cole and how all the fans aren't allowed to be super critical of a guy who got paid fucking over $30 million a year to sometimes underperform. Granted, the kind of bar has been set a little too high, but that's what happens when you're in New York and you're signed to a mega deal. And Kay has to act like, oh my God, like I'm the most condescending person of all time. Like, where are the Yankee fans now who think Cole is? It's like, bro, take it the fuck easy. Like, we can be critical of a player on the team who hasn't performed in some ways. Now it's looking like it's not that way. He's pretty much performed better than he should have. At least, or not better than he should have, but better than a regular starter should have in big games for a lot of them, besides the Red Sox game last year. But Kay is just so annoying. You get the post game today. He's rubbing. I don't even remember why. He's like fucking rubbing his head, like his hair, like his hair's on fire. Everything's robotic. He's such a fucking boner. Like he caters to like all the woke shit on his fucking show with Rosenberg and the whole fucking gang. I like Don, but just brutal by Michael K. Really can't stand him. And you got a young guy like Ruocco waiting in the wings. He'd be an amazing guy to be able to call play-by-play for the Yankees. And so, yeah, he really is pissed me off. But I don't want to dampen the mood because tomorrow, this is the type of day you have. You wake up and you get after it. As brutal as this is, you got to treat tomorrow like you're on the fucking team, baby. You fucking wake up, you get your stretches in, you maybe throw a little long toss, then you have your breakfast, you fucking maybe take a nice little power nap. Now you're ready. Now you put your headphones in. You're fucking getting locked in. 7 o'clock rolls around. That game's going on. You don't want to hear shit from nobody. Like, literally. I don't want to hear shit from a person. I'm watching that game. My phone, unfortunately, I do have my group text with the Yankees fans. I write in. But other than that, I don't want to see anyone call or text me. I'm not reading this. I'm not reading that. All that matters is Jameson Taillon tomorrow for a couple innings, probably Nestor for a couple innings, maybe Herman for a couple innings, and then Loaizaga, Clay Holmes, and Wandy. That's all I want to hear about. That's all I want to know. If the Yankees could lock this in, we got an amazing series in Houston, and you kind of game plan once it's there. But you're going to have a day off the next day if you can win. But make no mistake, the Guardians are so annoying, thorn in your side type shit where just like Kwan's going to beat you in weird ways. They're not going to strike out. Jimenez seems like he's always coming through with a hit. The fucking right fielder isn't even good. He keeps showing up with shit. Excuse me. You keep walking the fucking catcher at 8. It's been a freaky, weird series. You just got to get through it. One more game. I keep telling myself, one more game. I don't have to ever hear Darling poo-poo the fucking Yankees anymore. I don't have to ever hear Costas tell me about the 1925 Boston Braves. I don't have to hear about any of it. But you got to win. Let's fucking go Yankees, and I will be talking to you after hopefully they move on and are going to suit up and get ready for Houston. And cheers and goodbye.